Hello everybody and welcome to episode 12 of Controllers and Coffee. It's your weekly dose of gaming goodness. And today we've got quite the show and quite the panel here. As always, I'm joined by Kat Gerritsen.
Yo.
And also this week joined by Jim Swinglehurst.
Hey, what's up? What an honor to be here. And what an honor for all of us guys, really. An honor to be here and an honor for you to have me here.
You're right.
It's going to be a pleasure.
It really is. And Andrew Quinton, how are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Sleepy but good. Feeling good.
Well, hopefully this gets you going. This late night recording.
I'm actually keen for the chair. Look at that.
Hey.
Oh,
wow,
perfect.
Snap.
Money boy. Playing some money ball up in this.
All right, so a bit of housekeeping first. Just want to say, yes, we're all huge fans of Cyberpunk, but we're not going to be talking about Night City Wire tonight because it's tomorrow morning in Australian time, but this will be going out on Saturday. So sorry, we're not covering that. Big rip, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Also, this will be coming out on Saturdays now. So anyone who subscribes to the channel or listens on Anchor or podcast services, you get it at 9 p.m. on Saturday nights in Australia. I think it's about 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. So that's a bit of a change. We're going to go for the weekend podcast action. So that out of the way, let's have a chat with our guests. First of all, let's start with you, Andrew. I've got a few questions that I like to ask my guests.
Okay.
So,
all right,
here we go. I'm actually interested for this because you've probably got different tastes than me.
He loves
at
to
least.
judge too, so.
All right, so we can judge him right back.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Andrew, what was the first game you ever played?
First game I ever played. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't actually know the name, but all I remember is, you know, when you used to get those like demo floppy discs?
Yes.
Like from like Gamer Magazine and stuff like that.
Or
I used to get so many of those because like we had a computer, but we could never afford games. So I would always play all these like little demo games and stuff like that. I would probably say like the most memorable one is probably Doom. Like honestly, Doom.
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest, most memorable one.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Great game. Okay. What is your favorite game of all time?
It's easy to say World of Warcraft. I mean, for the very obvious reason of the collector's edition boxes down in the corner there.
And that you were playing 2 seconds ago.
Exactly. I'm going to say Counter-Strike, to be completely honest. Source,
All right.
specifically. It's probably the longest game I've played outside of World of Warcraft, so it's just easy to go back to. I'm just a big first-person shooter person, so...
Nice.
Yeah.
You say shoot a person?
Yeah.
Don't shoot a person.
Nah.
Keep it in Counter-Strike.
No.
Yeah,
no,
keep it.
Of course.
Keep it in the game, man.
Keep it in
Keep
the
it in
box.
polygons, buddy. Keep it polygon.
Afford guns. Guns are too expensive.
Keep it in the digital realm.
Definitely.
What is your favorite series of all time?
Favorite series, as in like game series?
Game series.
Well, what else are we
Game
here
series.
for?
You don't
Once
know.
again.
You don't know. Game series. Jeez.
Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike Go.
It's a series. It's
honestly,
technically
WoW,
a series.
all the WoW
it's easy enough to
expansions.
say, just WoW.
Half-Life.
Like, honestly, I think World of Warcraft is probably the easiest one to go with, just because
I knew
I've
it.
always come back. Every expansion, no matter what, I've always come back. So can't deny it.
Nice. And
We won't be denied.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this next question, but what is your currently most anticipated game?
Well, that would obviously have to be Crisis 3. No, it would...
Crisis 3's been out
Shadowlands.
for you.
Definitely
Yeah.
Shadowlands at the moment, so
Nice.
still waiting for that. It's a shame it's been pushed back.
Yeah.
I had some leave planned, but it's all good. It is what it is. We'll
is.
get there when we get there.
Nice. Good choice.
Good things come to those who wait, right?
You're the first person in this that's been on this show that hasn't said Cyberpunk, so congratulations.
Well done.
I'll get there. I'll definitely play it, but yeah.
To be unique, you know?
Yeah.
That's to stand out from the bunch.
Exactly.
All right, Jim, your turn.
All right, let's
First
do it.
first game ever played.
So now I'm a bit older.
Here's the age.
I
I love this.
yeah, I knew it was. I just gotta get it out there. I'm a little bit older. I'm in my late 20s now. I'm in my late 30s. So when I was a kid, my neighbor had a Sega Mega Drive, a Genesis for our US viewers, and I really wanted one. This is probably the first thing I ever played with, but it's the most memorable first game I ever really got as a gamer. And they had a Mega Drive. They had Sonic. They had Echo. They had Mickey's Castle of Illusion, I think it was called. And I was blown away. Like, I love these games. So I said to my dad, I need a Mega Drive. I'd love to have a Mega Drive. He's like, I think then he went round to my neighbor's house and found out about the Mega Drive, and he came back around and he was like, you know what, that Mega Drive is pretty good, but Sega have actually got a better console. It's called the Master System.
Oh no.
So, my dad blagged me and told me the Master System was the follow-up to the Mega Drive, which was actually, Andrew, if you don't remember, the Master System was the pre to the Mega Drive, so it was shitter. It was way shitter. So anyway, I got a Master System.
Was it 2 consoles before? Because wasn't there a Master System 2?
Yeah, there was, but it was the same hardware. They just kind of reskinned it, and they put some more built-in games. I had the Master System 1. It looked super 80s and blocky and like Japanese like future. It was like burgundy. And,
wow, okay.
So the first game, and it made me laugh because I laughed at Andrew at the start because he said he had a PC and he didn't have any games. But I actually had a Master System and I didn't have any games. It's way worse because it's a games console.
Specifically for that.
But it did have 2 built-in games.
I was going to say...
like Duck Hunt clone, which was like Sega's Duck Hunt clone, and it was pretty good. It was pretty cool. And the other one was it was like a motorbike game. I can't remember the name of it. It was like Hang On, and they're the 2 games I remember spending the most time on. I played games before that, but when I think my first real games that I spent so long on, mainly because that's all I had.
Yeah,
that was just sad. Don't be too sad about that story. I got a lot of games after that, but to start with on Christmas Day, just the 2.
That's
built in.
That's 2 more than you had before Christmas Day, man. Like,
yeah, exactly, right? My Master System, which is better than the Mega Drive.
How long did it take for you to realize that this isn't better than the Mega Drive?
I opened the box and I was like, the fuck? Like, this is so angular. The Mega Drive is so sleek. Why does it look like my dad's 1970s Cortina? But it was like, I looked at it, I think I had a suspicion, but like there's no internet or anything, so I was like, I couldn't prove him wrong. But I ended up loving it, so it's all good.
Yeah.
It all worked out. I actually got a Mega Drive like the next Christmas or something, so it was all good. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks.
Ate
Dad.
it.
Thanks, Dad. Cheers, Dad.
Was Alex Kidd in Miracle World one of the built-in games?
It wasn't. I think that was one of the ones that was built into the Master System 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was like a better game, better graphics. Like they learned how to do 8-bit a bit like properly by then. But with when I first got it, when I got my Master System, which was a concurrent console with the Mega Drive, it was like they were like, I don't know how to make games for this. Just make them really like blocky and like shit.
Pop something on.
Yeah, there's like this little laser gun. It was like, oh man, we can maybe get a picture up later, but you'll laugh. It was funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that story. Okay, what is your favorite game of all time?
So it's a great question, and I've had a little bit longer to think about it than Andrew. I think probably my favorite game of all time, even though I probably wouldn't go back to the series anymore, would be Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Nice.
On the PlayStation, yeah. So like, it was a game that I just picked up. I actually went to buy Final Fantasy. It was after Christmas. We went to buy Final Fantasy VII, and it was sold out. I went to the game shop in Carlisle, which is a city near where I grew up, and they didn't have it. We traveled like an hour to get there, and they didn't have Final Fantasy, so I didn't want to leave empty-handed. And I bought Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It was like the special edition that came with the music CD, the art book, and the game. And like, it just looked amazing. The artwork was incredible. It was just like a really special like game, and like it just has I've got a soft spot in my heart for that game. It's really cool.
Nice. Great shout.
That's great.
What is your favorite game series of all time?
Yeah, it's a great question. I made a little list here. I've got Uncharted on there. Uncharted's awesome.
Nice.
Super fun game. Really cinematic. Really easy to play. Like you can play like with your family and stuff. I've got Mass Effect on there. Elliot, I know you're a huge fan of Mass Effect.
That.
We talk a lot about Mass Effect, which is an amazing game. But you know what? I think probably the game that comes out on top might be Metroid. I love the Metroid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think just like that, like Castlevania, Metroidvania, right? You can see a bit of a similar theme here for me. I love going back into levels, and now I've got a new skill I can get somewhere else. I really like that mechanic, and I've been really disappointed we haven't seen a proper Metroid for a while.
Have you yeah, that's so weird. I heard the other day, I think the Metroid series has only sold like 16 million copies. I don't think that includes the Prime series. But it seems so weird because everyone speaks so highly of it.
It's an influential game.
Yeah, but it's just not like Nintendo just aren't doing anything with it, and Prime seems to be happening with Prime 4, but like, yeah, it seems like it's such a popular and loved series, but it never sold that well, which really surprises me.
I don't know how well it did in Japan.
Well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I actually don't know. It's a really good question. I don't know how well it did in Japan. I know it was like really well received in the Western world, but maybe it just wasn't a hit with the Japanese audience. Not sure.
Yeah,
but Samus, like, what a cool character. You can do so much with Samus.
And I think I could be wrong, but I think it's developed by an American studio for Nintendo.
Was it Rare? No. I can't remember.
No, I can't remember. I mean, Retro do it now, but I don't know if they did
Retro,
it.
that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Retro.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Cool. Good choice.
Yeah.
Have you played Ori? Both?
Yes.
Either of the Ori games?
They're so good.
Fantastic Metroidvanias.
So hard.
So hard.
So hard.
I played them so hard, man.
So hard. Too hard for me.
Really?
Will of the Wisp was like
Really?
savage. Yeah, I got
It
to a
is
boss and I
really
was just
hard.
like, get it.
I think Will of the Wisps was easier than the first game.
I haven't played the first one.
Oh man, do it. Play it on.
Well,
You
harder.
sold your Switch, so you can't. But they're both on Game Pass. So.
I'll tell the Switch story later.
Please, yes. And what is your currently most anticipated upcoming game?
Yeah, well, it's certainly not Warcraft, Andrew. World of Warcraft. Sorry, dude. Like, I used to play World of Warcraft back in 2005, which I always tell Andrew, and he's like, "Oh, okay, old fella." But then,
Hey, I played it then too. Don't worry.
how old would you have been in 2005? You're like a sproglet back then.
2005,
Like,
how old was I? 29 now. So
3?
what? I was 15?
3!
so like 3.
14, 15?
Look, you wouldn't have had a grasp on it. A 3-year-old cannot play a game with such depth. So it's certainly not Warcraft. It's I really, really am excited for Cyberpunk, as I know Kat and yourself are. That looks like an awesome game. I would love to see a new Metroid game, but there's nothing really happening with Metroid Prime 4. I am going to go with a surprising game, the new Forza game. Forza Motorsport.
Dude. You are
Forza
speaking
Motorsport.
my language, Jim. I'm so excited about that.
I know good games, baby.
You do. I absolutely love Forza, and Forza, I should say it correctly.
Forza, mate.
Man.
Forza, mate. Yeah, I'm bloody Aussie.
4 wheels on a bloody car, mate. Forza.
But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think it's still going to be a couple of years away, but very
That's
keen.
fine. You can anticipate for a few years.
Cyberpunk. Okay, Cyberpunk.
No. You go with what's a couple of years away. I think.
Look, we've been anticipating Cyberpunk since 2012. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Have you just been having this same conversation?
just 8 years, man. It's a bit of a long convo.
The irony is only Andrew's PC can probably run it properly. Everybody else is really going to struggle.
Yeah.
Because he's got the new graphics card.
Oh,
Have you got the
yeah,
new
the
card?
3080.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Maybe by the time
Still
They were
Cyberpunk.
all in the dumps.
Yeah.
Still on order.
So I'll be playing it on console like a pleb, so it's fine.
On your
I'll be-
Cyberpunk console.
Yeah,
480,
actually, I
480p.
I won't be playing
Play
it
it
on
on
that.
X.
I'll be playing it on my Series X instead. But you know, whatever. I still bought the fucking thing. Okay, well, thanks for that. That was great. Bit of insight into your lives and history with video games. Jim, I know that last week we spoke about 2 games that you would really like to speak about this week.
So,
We let
Elliot,
you
I
down.
gotta say, you didn't let me down. It's Kat's fault. She didn't know, but it's still her fault. So, when I listened to the podcast last week, as I always do,
Such
Thank
a
you.
good friend.
Kat spoke about a game that I was excited to talk about today. It's called Genshin Impact, and I wanted to share my thoughts on it because Kat had some really
Go
good
for it.
points, but she forgot some things too. Andrew, I'm
Leave
going to
the
ask
stuff.
first. Andrew knows about Genshin Impact. Have you played it yet?
have not played it yet. I've been very tempted to, but it's because I've been
But
streaming a lot
WoW.
of the pre-patch WoW stuff. So
But you're asleep. Got it. Elliot, have you played it yet?
No, I haven't.
Bitch,
I got way too many
Okay.
games to try and play.
you're
So-
both small babies.
You both? Yeah, you are. So it just did you see the IGN review for the game that came out today? Did anybody see that yet?
No, I haven't watched it.
So IGN have dropped their review for it, but before I tell you what IGN gave it, it's IGN, so take it with a pinch of salt. I'm going to tell you my thoughts. So Kat's exactly right. There's some things in that game. Paimon, for example, you just want to kill. So she's your little sidekick. She announces herself in the third person constantly, and you just want to by 3 hours into the game, you're like, fuck off, Paimon. But I'm not a big anime fan, so I guess it's hard for me to kind of get into that really I don't know. It's hard to kind of get into the understanding of what you're supposed to get out of that game when it comes to the dialogue. But it plays so well. It looks amazing. It doesn't feel like a pay-to-play game, really. It's is it a gacha? Do they call them gacha?
Yeah,
games?
gacha.
Right? And gacha, I think, is
Gacha
like
game.
is it in Japan a gacha ball? Like you put money in a machine and you get a
Yeah.
gacha out, so you don't know what you're gonna get.
Like
Right.
the things you get at Woolies, Yeah. Pop 20 cents in. What do you got?
Yeah, right. And I've read a lot online about people saying, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna be paywalled. I'm gonna have to pay some money to play this game." I mean, you don't really feel like that at all when you're playing it. It feels very Zelda, Breath of the Wild, like Zelda, but maybe slightly less. You're slightly less agile than Link, but it's still a really well-made
Like
game.
the weapons don't break, so.
Well, so when I first played Zelda,
Game changer.
when you first get that stick and you're like, "Ah, fuck, I smashed my stick over the back of this what are they called? And you're like, it's okay, it's a stick. It's cool. Sticks break. And then you get later into the game and your stuff keeps breaking. And you're got this glowing epic sword and it smashes after you kill 10 enemies with it. It's this isn't good. So the best thing about the game, Genshin Impact, is your weapons don't break and you can level up your weapons. It's a bit like Destiny where you can melt down crapper weapons. And
Yeah, in a way.
And make them to upgrade your...
You can infuse them.
Infuse them, that's right. So I love it. I think... the one thing is it's free, right? There's no reason to not play that game. It got a 9 on IGN, which is pretty amazing.
Wow.
They
for
gave it a
IGN.
9. I know, right? They can't have gotten any money out of it. It's made in China. It's got everything against it, but it just works. It's such a good game, and I will be playing a lot more of it. I think Kat and I are on similar levels, unless you played it a lot more since last week's podcast. So it just keeps getting better.
Yeah, what adventure level are you at?
I think I'm on 12, so I've gone
I'm on
past the 10.
21.
Oh, okay,
So-
you have spent more time with it.
But once you reach the cap of 15, 16, where you can start ascending your characters and doing co-op. Not that I do co-op at all, but you start rocketing through those levels a lot quicker. Especially some of the quests that you then take on. They're a lot faster.
I'm excited to do that. I think it would be really cool to do some co-op stuff. I don't fully understand how it's going to work yet. I imagine it's dungeon raids and things like
Yeah,
that.
and you'll have to restart your character on the North American server.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. So you'll have to restart your character on the Asia server. So it's all good. That's fine. It's fine. You just
No.
said you can rocket through those levels, so we're all G. You'll be fine. Give it a go. It's all good.
Well, that's pretty good. And I'm hearing really pretty much that same sentiment from so many people.
It's
and
so good.
I watched an interesting video today. It was essentially saying do you get more value out of this game because it is free and you kind of overlook the gacha mechanics and stuff like that because it doesn't seem to have that wall where it's now you need to pay. Do you think that's part of the reason why it's been so well received, or is it really is it actually a legitimately good game?
No, it's just good. Forget about the gacha shit. Just put that to the side. It is good by itself, and you don't need the gacha shit. You get characters in the game, so you don't have to. And you earn all the currency that you need for the gacha shit in game, and it's not a slow gain. I've been able to purchase 5 sets of character sheets, which are 10 at a time, as well as I can still afford probably 2 more, and that's only using one form of currency. There are other forms of currency that you get as well, and then every time you do that, when you proc things that you've already gotten, it gives you currency again to then trade in and get more. Like, it just continues on. So you can absolutely spend money, but you absolutely don't have to.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
One thing, is someone barking?
Yeah.
Who's the barking?
It's coming from my house.
Smell
Get him in
it.
here. Smell it house.
That was
I guess there's one thing. Have you ever played a game, right? Like where you've like World of Warcraft, you've logged in and like something's gone wrong with like the server, and you turn up and like you're the only one in the server, like, or maybe like in a first-person shooter and you like sign in and like nobody's moving and you like get kills super easy. Has that ever happened to you? Like where servers have like fucked up?
Yeah.
It feels a bit like that in Genshin Impact. Like it feels like it's an MMO where the world hasn't loaded almost. I know it sounds like a negative, but like, you know, like you log in and you're expecting to see other players, but
There's
it's
no
all
other
just
little
NPCs.
shit around.
Yeah, there's no real people, but it feels like the world's built to like an MMO world, but there's nobody else there. That's one thing. It feels a little bit like, where is everybody? So I think maybe the co-op stuff.
Yeah, you can get other people in your world. I don't play really MMOs at all, so it doesn't feel that much like that to me. But I had 3 other people in my world at one point, and they annoyed me. Like, they stopped me from doing my quests because they were in my world, so I could only run around and do like hit shit. I was like, get the fuck out! And I couldn't.
How did they get in the world? Did you invite them or?
I was forced into it with a quest, and then they forced them into my world, but I couldn't get rid of them for a while. Like, they just stayed, and I couldn't leave. Right. There's no option to leave the matchmaking, so I had to wait until I was allowed to kick them. Like,
what?
Yeah, okay,
no.
that does sound annoying. That does sound annoying. It's like a bit of an empty world sometimes vibe I get, but not in a bad way. I'm pretty
very Breath of the Wild way.
Yeah, it's very Breath of the Wildy. Yeah.
Nice.
It's so good though, except for Lisa and Paimon, but Lisa as well. I hate her.
Lisa's
God,
weird.
I hate her.
I hate her. And the witch. What's the witch called? She's really annoying.
Lisa.
Is that Lisa? Okay.
She sucks. Yeah.
She's really like horny and mean.
Yeah. Here for a good time. Get out of here.
Oh my god.
Weird.
Star Wars Squadrons. We also talked about it last week, but Jim, I know you've been playing that as well. Yeah. I think you know my thoughts about it, but kind of where do you stand?
You know, I was kind of mad at you last week when we had a chat about, you're like, oh, I really love Star Wars, but this game's not working for me, or whatever you said. But like, the more I played it, the more I
just like me.
You are right. I think it feels like a $50 game. The main characters, like when you're talking to them, you're like standing still, and it's like it feels like it's built for VR, right? I don't have a VR headset, which is disappointing because I think it'd be awesome. I love it though, like for its own quirkiness, but I think it's not going to be a long-term play for me. The main thing I wanted to mention about it is Gunny is awesome. You know, like the character that you play with Gunny, like that the rebel flight leader,
that
but
red
she does
alien lady.
She looks exactly like a strawberry, right? Like that one. She's cool. She looks like a strawberry.
She does look like a strawberry. She's been playing Bug Snacks too much.
I can't concentrate when Gunny speaks. I'm just like, need to get those strawberries, baby. So, but that's the only thing I really wanted to add. That Squadrons is okay, and Gunny looks like a strawberry.
Have you played multiplayer?
Amazing points.
I have played multiplayer, and it's better. It's hard, dude. It's so hard. There's some really skilled pilots out there in dogfights. It's just savage. It's a brutal world. If I even think Ori's hard, right? So just think how hard I'm going to think Star Wars Squadrons is going to be. It was savage.
See, I love the PvP element of games like that, but I just think for something that's like a very flight simulator type thing, you'd have to be pretty dedicated to be good at it. It's not one of those games you can sort of jump in, pick up a little bit, be kind of average, and then have a good couple of games.
Yeah.
Like, you're either going to be really good or not that great.
Or you're going to have a bad time.
And it's like when you die, it's like a slog. You've got to fly back. And I think Elliot mentioned it last week. It's like you're slow, like the ships feel slow because you're in space. So you climb back into the action, and even if you're boosting, it's just like.
It's very similar. This is a terrible comparison, but have you ever played Hold Fast before? You probably would have seen me stream it before.
I've seen you play it.
It's such a stupid game. It's purely for the memes. However, when you die, there's no mounts, there's no vehicles, there's no nothing. It's literally you've got to walk back, and it is a long slog. And that's what turns me off that game.
Like walking in Genshin, and I can teleport most places. What do you mean?
Yes. I just wish I could just like.
There's no teleporter in Hold Fast.
Oh man, no, not in God knows what year that was.
It was like 1793 France.
Yeah.
1790
man.
frames.
I think
So good.
if like I like that a lot of it. Well, I like that it's in space, but I think if there were some maps that were like close to the ground, there'd be more of a sense of speed, like in like flight combat
Huge sky
games like
battles.
Hawks or
Mountain ranges.
Ace Combat or something. Yeah, and you really can see that you're traveling a long distance, whereas in space, like it's so difficult to judge like how fast am I actually going, and
You're not actually going fast. The game's tricking you.
yeah,
You are
That's
going
that
slow.
Battlefront vibe.
They
for
think
sure.
you'll think it's fast.
Yeah.
I think like sorry to interrupt.
No,
Star
no.
Wars, like in the movies, you go fast when you jump to like light speed, and like the stars all like they blend and it goes all bright, and then you go into the tunnel, the twist like that. That indicates speed in the movie, but because you don't really do that when you're fighting, it just feels like you're moving around in space.
Plus they
right?
have like weird space dust coming at you when you're going fast to
I
kind
think
of
that's
give you
why
that
they
sense
added
of
it.
momentum.
That's why they added it.
Yes!
Yeah.
But I feel
Cool,
that
man.
for sure.
I'm with you this week. I played it way less. I think it's one of those games that I will jump back into, and I will finish the single player campaign. And if they release any DLC, I'll probably get the DLC for it. I can't see myself being any good at the multiplayer. It's just too sweaty. It's hard.
It's
The guys
too
are really
sweaty.
good. There's so many sweaters on it, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty hectic.
Moist in there. Ugh.
Oh my god, it's feisty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I finished the single player campaign, and the final mission was really good, but I don't know. I felt like I was just finishing it to finish it. Like I wasn't really like, oh, this is so fun.
Fair.
It's very like straight up boring storyline, and
It's just straight up boring. Rip.
Is that like the crawl that they have on it? A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, a straight up boring storyline.
That's the end title, right?
Strawberry looking motherfucker leads squadron of X-Wings to victory.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of news here. So I covered this actually on a video that I released yesterday, but The Medium, upcoming game from Bloober Team, finally has a release date.
So long!
Hitting on December the 10th. Am I right, Kat?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
This
Fact
looks
checking here. Got
quite
it.
interesting, coming to Game Pass on day one for Xbox Series consoles and PC only. So pretty much one of the only next-gen only games coming to Xbox. Obviously, yeah, it's coming to PC, but that's just their strategy.
It's like one of the only ones.
Weirdly, so their whole thing is like the game can't run on Xbox One because it needs the SSD to kind of render the two worlds at the same time, and it needs the extra power. However, the minimum specs for PC don't include an SSD, which is odd. I wonder how that's actually going to perform. They strongly suggest having one, but it's not like you have to have an NVMe drive or something like that. Which is
that's interesting.
strange, but
It's also just so strange, like, to cut out the previous gen so soon. So soon.
Yeah.
It's been out for a month. Lots of people won't be able to even get their hands on the console by that time.
yeah, but like that, I guess
way after Christmas.
you know, there's like Demon Souls on the other side, which is exclusive to PlayStation
True.
5. Like,
Very true.
I think it's good that there are some. I'm all about the cross-generation thing that Xbox are doing, but it's cool that there is at least that game that's only on next gen, because they've specifically designed it to be that way, and it looks cool. I'm still not sure, like, if it's always. I know they say like it's rendering the worlds at the same time, but I thought you can switch between them. But in the couple of gameplay things we've seen, it's literally like the screen is split in half and you can see everything twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
As well.
Sorry.
I thought you could switch between them as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you can in some bits and not in others or something like that. But yeah, from the gameplay they showed a little while ago, it's like literally either vertically or horizontally split in half, and you can see what's happening in both worlds at the same time. And like, you know, in the spirit world, you may be able to get through a door that doesn't exist in the real world. So like, she'll kind of walk into another room, but she'll just be in the previous room in the real world. It's kind of strange.
So I don't know much about this game. I don't know much about it, but what you're telling me sounds awesome. It reminds me of, I haven't seen what you're talking about. Have you ever played Titanfall 2, the single player campaign?
No, but I know the bit you're talking about.
So there's a level called Effect and Cause, and it's you basically have this like wrist attached time jump device, and it jumps between time in the same place that you're at. So like you run through the level and you're in it like in the future where it's like destroyed, this facility, and then you jump back in time and floors are there when you're like running, and walls are there, and things are on fire and doors haven't collapsed, and you've got to kind of keep triggering it on and off to kind of get through stuff. It's an amazing level. It sounds like my sort of thing. It sounds really cool. I'm keen on this.
Have you played Dishonored 2?
I have a little bit. I've only played a little bit. I played it when it was on Game Pass.
Right, because there's a
PC.
very similar to the Titanfall level, and it is incredible where you've got this like mirror thing, and like you open it up and you can look through it and see the past, and like in the present day everything's destroyed, kind of like Titanfall, like, and in the past, like the house is like, you know, there's a party going on and there's lots of guards and everything there. In the present, it's just all dilapidated, but you can't get through certain areas. And you have to, like, you can actually look in real time at the past, and then to get through something, you switch, and then you switch back to kind of get through this level. And it is so clever. It is one of the, like, most well-designed levels in that whole game. And their level design is just phenomenal anyway.
Yeah.
But it is exactly like what you're saying about Titanfall, and I've heard some people make that comparison as well.
Seriously, Titanfall 2 is a phenomenal game. It's so underrated. It's like I reckon it's the best first-person shooter story game you can play. Like BT, your Titan, like you're so emotionally attached to him by the end of it. Like it's really emotional. Check it out. It's great.
Yeah. I did download it. I bought it for about $3.
Yeah, it's like the cheapest
but I have not
ever.
played it. Yeah.
I think I have it for $3 too. But I did find a great hot little excerpt for you.
Please.
At different points in the game, players will find themselves playing in either of the worlds, or within both at the same time, with the game purposefully designed in this way to ensure variety and surprise.
Sick.
So it seems like set sections will model both at the same time, and otherwise you'll be able to jump between the two.
Okay.
And it's
Very cool, though.
It's almost like Silent Hill or old Resident Evil, where some of the sections are fixed camera, and you're kind of walking around and like picking up items and solving puzzles and stuff in that kind of very Resident Evil style fixed camera design. But then I think other parts are third person, so it kind of jumps between them, which I think is clever. I think it could be really cool.
Yeah, and some of the set sections where you're looking at the two worlds at the same time are horizontally split and some are vertically split, so I guess maybe they'll slide and you'll get some diagonal splits too. Who knows? Very exciting though. Very cool.
It sounds really fun. I'm really interested.
I'm looking forward to it.
Also, Troy Baker's character has like the creepiest voice I've ever heard. I think it's called The More. There's a trailer out and it is horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
I love Troy Baker.
He's pretty amazing. Okay, moving on. Here we go. So, Kat, do you want to give us a bit of a rundown about Crucible? Or I can't.
The only rundown that you need, the only rundown you need is that it's dead.
It's RIP.
Amazon tried for years to break into the gaming industry. Like Twitch wasn't enough. They thought we got to put our hands further in these pies, just smash them right in there. Let's make a huge free-to-play, and then they really fucked it. What it released in like May, and then they put it, well, not release, but opened beta in May, and then they put it back into closed beta in July, and now it's dead. RIP. It'll be open until, I think, early November. And then they're closed down. Done.
And
finished.
People thought Anthem was bad.
Is Crucible an Amazon game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Their studio. What was their studio called?
So they are making a new game, aren't they, Kat? The New World, Amazon New World. Have you
yes,
seen
New
it?
World is meant to be really good.
That's an MMO.
It's kind of like they've just moved every resource from Crucible to New World.
Well, New World did have some betas earlier in the year during quarantine, so I suspect they went incredibly well compared to what Crucible did, and they've decided to move away from it. But Crucible was in development for years, as many games are before they pop into beta.
It looks like shit though.
What a dump!
It looks
People
like
didn't hate though. Like people were happy with the game. They thought that there were a lot of improvements that could be made, but they were generally pretty supportive of what it could become. And for a company that has so much money, so many resources, and they want such a big slice of that pie,
Bezos.
to just drop it, Bezos!
Lumberyard.
Wild.
That was the
So
name
good.
of the engine that they used, isn't it? They made their own
Bezos
game.
engine.
The Bezos engine. It's called Lumberyard. I think they wanted to make their own Unreal
It is.
engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Just-
kind of what they.
I think a
it
lot of
looks shit.
people are
I've
using
never played it.
that engine like outside of Amazon.
It's
Oh,
like
really?
based on CryEngine.
Okay, that's interesting.
So I think it's based on it, but it's their own engine.
There's just so many games that just benefit from the Unreal Engine so much better.
Totally, and it's
So much more fun.
established and it's been around for like what 20 years now,
Yeah.
pretty much, and like even like to the point of like Xbox, pretty much almost every single team other than maybe like Playground and Turn 10 with Forza are using Unreal because like it's just such a good engine. They can do so much with it. They can make so many different genres and stuff with it.
Yeah.
That, you know, Microsoft, arguably the biggest gaming company in the world, have their own engines, have a couple like Halo's new engine, but you know, that's not going too well. And they
everybody
still use
likes
it
a flat looking world with no lighting, don't they?
with no lighting.
No lighting. Few
Don't worry
specks of
about
grass.
To be fair, I can't wait to
Two
play that
bits of
fucking
grass.
game.
Few prongs. You know, like when a kindergartner draws a picture and they put in 2 lines for a piece
Yeah.
of grass? That's it.
Or like where it's like off the bottom of the screen like this, so like the
Yeah,
grass
just
at the- at the-
waving around. Look at all that
Yeah,
good
masterpiece.
grass.
It's like in your hood.
Wow, I feel so
Like
bad
rain
for
when
the
you're hot.
hundreds of people that work for thousands of hours on that game. Sorry, 3, 4,
They were like, oh shit, yeah, that's it, we finished Halo, and like the guys like, you guys get the 3D rendering engine done, yeah, did you get the lighting engine done? Yep, sweet. How about you, dude? Did you get the grass done? He's like, fuck, I was supposed to get the grass. He's in the pub. He's like, oh, I've got to go back to the office. He's just like, how can I make the grass in 1 hour?
Sprint in, like, that'll be fine.
Fuck, that'll do.
Just
Hit
paste
Command
it
S.
to the bottom of the screen before we start the game.
Command
There you
C,
go.
Command V, Command C, Command V.
That's alright. People just want maximum frames. They're probably going to turn this off anyway. It doesn't matter.
Slide
Yeah.
the grass. Slide
Turn off the
way down.
grass.
Get all the
Hide the
shaders
grass.
out.
That's the only setting in the menu. Hide the grass.
Grass, yes or no?
So good.
I think with Crucible, it's like they went for the most like bog standard free to play. Like it was a team shooter thing, but it just
Yeah,
looks
multiplayer shooter.
so boring.
I mean, I like their designs. Like the art was really nice. Like it's not.
Their the actual artwork is awesome. Hey,
Yeah,
but then the game, I see exactly what you mean. It does look like
Yeah, it's just kind of
Solid.
standard, which was exactly the
Nothing.
criticisms they received, and they seemed to be quite open to taking people's suggestions and things like that, which is often the case in a beta. That's exactly what you want. And then they just died.
The problem is people are seeing games like Fortnite and things like that that have okay graphics, like they're not that great, but the actual quality of the game, like the play of it is just so much better. And then these other games are trying to match it by saying, you know what, we can do better graphics, and then they'll do that, and then the actual like game itself is just shit. And that's,
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem. People are trying
And I
to
think
match
it-
games to make money.
And you touched on something where you said, like, you joking, but you're saying people just want maximum frames. But, like, Fortnite is so optimized to run on any hardware. Whereas, like, I don't know
Literally.
how this runs on hardware, but the graphics actually look, like, quite crap, but also, like, quite demanding. So, like,
Yeah.
if you're a kid and you download Crucible and you download Fortnite and you play them and Crucible's choppy and unoptimized, you're probably just going to go back to Fortnite, right? Like, because that's who it's aimed at, these free-to-play arena shooters.
I think that's a good point as well, because it's also accessible. Like, I mean, well, not now, let's be honest, but let's not get there. But you know, it was accessible to so many other people. Like even COD, right? Like you can play COD on pretty much any device now. Like there's COD Mobile and things like that. There's so many games that you can literally just download, play whatever on whatever you want. You can have a cheap iPod or something like that, and you can still do it. That's crazy. But then these other games are trying to aim at specific markets, and they're just not taking off. It's not working.
Can't compete.
When you're aiming for the higher graphics and fidelity, you are completely ignoring part of the fact that makes Fortnite and things like Overwatch like livable in terms of a game.
Yeah.
That those lower qualities make it easier to pump stuff out or get it smoother, or get it running quicker and out into the world faster. Whereas this has been going for years and is still in a beta and wasn't close to being good at all for play. So like,
yeah,
if you sacrifice a bit on that skin texture or how many leaves you want to put in that forest, like
how many mohawks you want the characters to have by the look of it, because it's a mohawk fest.
Like, let's be honest, and like I'll harp on it a bit, but like, you know, you come back to a game like WoW, they've only just released a lot of new like textures and stuff like that, and it's been 15 years in the making. Like, you know, they've focused on the actual play of the game versus throwing heaps of textures into it. They screwed up a few times, don't get me wrong, but you know, they're getting there.
Put your money in the right place.
It's all good. But yeah.
Oh well, rip
Crucible.
Next game.
Indeed.
Rippy dippy.
I'll see you in 12 months. We'll talk about New World.
Yeah.
I hear it's actually really good.
Cancelled.
Exactly the same thing. Hasn't it already had like 2 setbacks, like 2 pushbacks on its timeline? It's gone.
Look, I watched a bit of
drag it
down.
Not enough skeletons, couldn't render in time.
I don't know. I didn't like a lot of the gameplay that I saw. It's just not as intuitive, but
I also don't know why any company would try and make an MMO. It seems like a market that does not lend itself well to newcomers. Like, essentially, there are 3 MMOs that are like, really popular. Obviously, WoW, Final Fantasy, and ESO, and like everything else has not really stuck around. I mean, you know, there's older ones, but you know, in the modern age, there's just like those big 3. How do you compete with Elder Scrolls Online? How do you compete with World of Warcraft? Like, it's just insane. It seems insane to me that Amazon have all these resources and then they're just like, let's make genres that are so flooded with competition, and instead of like, I don't know, like, just make a fucking single player game for Christ's sake. Like, they've got these big teams and they've poached a lot of really talented developers, and they're just making probably the hardest games to enter the market with.
So do you think the reward for those games, if you do manage to strike gold with one, is probably worth that gamble a little bit? Like, if you look at games like games that have flopped a little bit. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online does seem to have had a bit of a resurgence, but it did look like it was dying for a bit there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like Fallout 76, right?
Like Black Desert, it lived and then it died. Well, I don't even know. I think it's still pretty alright. It's just a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But then you even say that, right? And like, it's one of those markets where you can put the biggest names in there. It was shown with Star Trek and Star Wars, and both of those were huge when they came out. They're like, it's a WoW killer, it's an Elder Scrolls killer, it's going to be fantastic. And then they came out with these games and they weren't livable. Like, they weren't casual friendly. Like, you had to dedicate so much time to them. You had to physically put effort into it, where there's these other games that have been a bit more established and you can kind of jump in and out. Like, you don't have to focus on specific things, where with those games, you know, you've got to be either a hardcore Star Wars fan or you've got to be dedicated to the game. Otherwise, you're left behind immediately. And I think that's what the biggest downfall of games like that is.
How much money, like, for example, if you look at Fallout 76, like, do you think that game was profitable? It's still going. The servers are still running. They're still releasing content for it. Do you think they've made money on that game?
Whoa. That's a very, very good question.
Because if they have, it proves us kind of like almost a little bit wrong here. Because if it was made money and it was a flop, it shows that your MMO can be kind of shit, but it can still be profitable for your company. And that might be the drive for a company to be like, well, instead of making another single player Fallout, why don't we just put some money into 76? Keep those, I don't know, $15 a month. I don't know how much it is to play. $5 a month to subscribe. Coming in, and it's just like this constant revenue flow. It's cynical, and I don't like that that way for games to go, like games as service as they call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not a
it's
fan.
like the old engines, and there's no and no offense to World of Warcraft, Andrew, because I do believe that's an amazing platform, but that's probably the
Exception.
It's an exception to the rule where like
Yeah.
Fallout 76 looks old, it looks shit, it never played well,
Yeah.
it still makes money, it's still making a profit. It doesn't feel good, right?
You're right. World of Warcraft's literally the only exception. It is on the oldest system that you can possibly imagine. Like a potato can run it, and it's somehow still profitable. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
It's addictive.
I wonder if, that's a really good point about Fallout. Like, same with Anthem. Like, I know Anthem's not, it's not an MMO, but it like, Anthem's also, sore spot for us. But like, it sold well when it released, but now, but it died so quickly. I also saw it for $4 in EB Games yesterday or the other day.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Grab it.
you could get it now and hope for Anthem 2.0 one day. But like, did it make the money back? Like, Anthem, I guess, would have cost more probably than Fallout 76, but
Yeah, probably.
like Fallout, it's just such a weird game, and then they have to continue to put development time into it, especially when they fail or when they flop. So it's like they have to essentially offer more. If it's really successful, they can be like, this new expansion coming out, like ESO, like you pay for all the expansions as they come out, whereas like Fallout, they're like, everything's going to be free. So they're just hoping that, I guess, people pay money for microtransactions and, what are they called? Atoms and stuff to keep the game going, because they're still paying all these developers to continue making the game.
At what point do you pull the plug, right? Like, that really does tell me that they're not stupid. There's still money being made on that game. There's still profit coming in from that game, and just until they flip the switch on that server, up until
Can't believe it. I can't believe they're making money on that.
It's
You know which
bad.
other game really surprised me that they kept alive for so long and is still alive? They're still making new shit. For Honor, that 3-team
People
fighting
love
game.
that game.
Yeah.
It was so good. I played it when it came out, and it was so good. And it had the high player count. But then you got some really sweaty gamers that learned how to get you stuck in loops when they're fighting you, and it turned the game to trash. Right now, their peak players in the last 30 days was just over 3,000, and they're still making expansion for it. What are they doing? Why are they spending money on that for 3,000 people max in a month? Like, get out.
Okay, that's a very low number. I don't know how that. There must be one server, some Linux box somewhere.
Yeah,
running the For Honor engine.
It's in the creative director's backyard or something like that.
Yeah, it's just running in his yard.
Yeah, Jesus.
In the rain.
That actually.
Break.
Surely they're not making much money. How much Fallout 4 are they working on it to save face as well?
Well, how much are they actually physically developing it? Like, is it multiple people focusing on it? And is
3
there
people.
anything being added to it? Because I guess that's
Just
the
one
only thing to
guy.
consider. Just one dude in his backyard, just
And he
like...
just keeps
got
Next
it
to
fucking
the
it up.
Linux
Just
server.
getting worse and worse. It's just like, fuck, this is even worse than the last update. But I'm gonna publish it. It just keeps getting worse. You know the main game that blows me away that it's still going? Lord of the Rings Online. People love that game.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Expansions are still paid for. People absolutely froth off it. It looks like dog shit.
Seriously?
It plays like dog shit. It's free to get the main game, but then all the expansions you pay for them, I think. 2007 that came out, still going. 9 out of 10 on Steam.
Jesus.
Like, people love it.
That actually,
Their website looks like it's from 2007.
I wasn't going to
It's
talk
all
about
good.
this, but that makes me think about the Avengers game recently. There were articles coming out that apparently
1,000
hit
concurrent players.
1,000 players on Steam, and it's like a month old. And
It ruins their matchmaking. The people can't play it anymore.
1,000.
biggest
Under 1,000
1,000
concurrent players.
on like
Oh, no.
one of the biggest IP in like.
that's
my
dead.
god!
They're dead.
That is
That's
dead.
dead.
So sad.
And people people.
It was so expected, Elliot. You and I called it
I
so
know.
hard.
I fucking know.
Holy shit.
And people
That's
are,
bad.
who got it on PlayStation are probably still hoping for Spider-Man to come to it, but who the fuck's going to be playing it when Spider-Man comes out next year? Like,
No one.
Everyone's gonna come back and play Spider-Man. You're gonna have a mission with 4 Spider-Mans in there. Play it for about a week and then you're done.
Spider-Man, 4 Tobey Maguires, all in that, walking around.
dancing.
That Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
meme where
put
they
your
point at
mask
each
up.
other.
Oh man,
Even,
that's so surprising.
Oh no!
I just
forgot
can't
what I was
believe
gonna
that,
say.
man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely.
The crazy
ridiculous.
thing is the amount of money they spent on so many streamers to, well, one, play it obviously on stream, but also like you would go through so many streamers and they would have it just as like a little banner on the bottom of their About Us. Like the amount of money they would have spent on marketing would have been ridiculous.
It's just shit. Like they played every time they showed it, it looked shit. The gameplay looked stale. It looked like corridor running. The flying looked poop, and then you had like quick time events.
And apparently
also,
matchmaking was shit from the start anyway, so I don't know
Yeah.
how it could be
And it was
even worse.
broken. In so many people's cases, they couldn't get into the games properly. Like even into the story missions, let alone into co-op. I don't see how such a huge IP couldn't try harder. Like,
You know what I
you've
think will
got
happen?
everything to lose.
I reckon they'll do, it's free weekend. They'll keep doing their free weekends, like where they do when any MMO is dying. They're like, it's free weekend time, baby. Let's
Yeah.
give you access to the game. Yeah, double XP, free weekend, get into it, and then they'll drop the price, and it'll follow the same path that they all
They'll
do.
change
and
their
eventually-
roadmap.
Yeah, well, actually, everybody gets Spider-Man now, and you also get Venom, and Venom's really cool. Yeah, it'll be that for sure. But it's sad. Crystal Dynamics, like I really like them as a studio. I love Tomb Raider. I love all the new Tomb Raider games. So like I thought they would have been better, but
Yes.
This is what, and like
It blows my
it's not
mind.
just Crystal as well. Like they're a great studio, but it's also fucking Eidos Montreal who make
Also amazing.
Deus Ex, and the new Deus Ex games are phenomenal. Like I absolutely love them, and they're just a support studio for a shitty fucking game as a service now. Which, like, how long is that going to last? And how many resources from these studios are working on this game to the point of like, are we going to get another Deus Ex? Are we going to get another Crystal Dynamics like third-person
Tomb Raider.
action game, or like Tomb Raider?
Although they did a trilogy, they might not do anything.
Yeah, I think they've finished with that. But like,
But
they are so talented, and it's so sad that they've been relegated to making this shitty game that seems so uninspired and so like
I'm
another
waiting
paint
for
by
like the
numbers.
No Man's Sky like turnaround. Like Fallout 4's like, we just got to keep going, and just like No Man's Sky, we'll come back.
I
we're
think
gonna
that's
No
what
Man's
so
Sky
many
it, but
companies-
better.
But we're gonna do it in half the time.
And it's so
In fact,
funny.
we're not
'cause-
even gonna get unpopular. We're just gonna stay popular.
Yeah, that's what they should be fucking aiming for. And I think like Hello Games are such a small team. They had like when No Man's Sky released, I think there were like 15 people working on it. I'm sure it's bigger now, but like over 4 years, they've made that game really impressive. And so like pretty much everything they promised at the start is now a thing. So
It just took 3 extra years. Like, no biggie.
yeah,
Don't
But,
worry
like,
about it.
for a small team to actually do that, I can't see these massive AAA studios actually doing that.
Soul, man. They don't
They-
have the soul to push
That's it.
through.
They just pull the plug, right? Like just like we're saying with like what was the game, the Amazon game, the
Yeah,
Crucible.
Crucible.
They'll pull the plug, right? Doesn't matter to us. What does Bezos care? He doesn't care, right? Like, but whereas Hello Games, that's their baby. They're gonna turn this around, and that's actually a really nice story, the No Man's Sky story. I think it's really unique to that one game.
Yeah.
You won't see that often.
No.
The Avengers, Marvel will just be like, oh, we're sick of it. Pull the
Yeah.
plug on it. You're damaging our franchise. Pull the plug. That's just what happens when you get a big studio, and it just sucks. And that's the danger of online games, I suppose. That is the risk.
It's the danger of roadmaps, man. If you say roadmap before the game's out,
Yeah, when you're talking about like
you mean you
The
haven't
game
finished
won't
the
have-
game yet?
Yeah.
when they were
Roadmap
talking about like
completion.
the game won't have loot boxes in their first presentation, it's like, come on, like that's not good enough. Like don't show us your new
That
game and
ain't
be
it.
like, by the way, we're gonna have all this end game content. It's like, just finish the fucking game first. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about the end game if the game hasn't even released yet.
Yeah.
It's
Care
too
about
much.
the characters that are coming out a year later before it's even come out.
Mm-hmm.
But what's one game that's like doing really well with that at the moment, and I've got to commend them because obviously it's been out for a while, but obviously everyone's on the Among Us train now, and they're focusing on Among Us too. But they even said that the amount of concurrent players they have at the moment, they want to focus on Among Us 1 because they want the player base to stick around.
Yeah,
So
well,
Yeah, I think they
wanna do that.
cancelled.
they cancelled Among Us 2, and they're just
completely.
yeah, they've cancelled Among Us 2, and they're just gonna improve what Among Us already is.
That's so good.
And add new things to it, which is amazing. But that game came out 2 or 3 years
2018.
ago as well. Yeah. So it came out a while ago, and just had the Twitch popularity boom, as many games do.
Is it just
And
like?
they're a tiny team. I think what is it, like two or three people? I think.
Yeah,
no,
right.
actually, I think it's quite big now.
Is it just though like the flavor of the month thing? Like I love Fall Guys. I think it's a really great game, but it's like its popularity has dwindled, and they probably still got more players now than they ever dreamed of. But is Among Us just going to drop off when big streamers stop playing it, and like now that Phasmophobia is out and people are really playing that, like is that going to move on, and are the Among Us devs just going to see a huge drop, and then it was not worth it to cancel the second game? That's got to be a hard decision to make.
Phasmophobia will probably drop off before Among Us does.
I
The
think
hard
so
thing
too.
about Among Us is the amount of people you need to play the game. I think that's the problem with it. If it was very similar to something like Project Winter, where you needed 8 people, and you can even get away with like 6 in some cases, like it's not too hard. But when you've got a game that requires sort of 10 people to play it to its peak, that makes it a little bit harder.
And it will
I
be
think.
communicating as well, so it's not like
It-
random.
Yeah.
It is made a lot easier by it being available on mobile as well. Like, there are people that I know who don't necessarily play games at all who bloody love Among Us, and they're just all about it. They'll play it every day
Yeah.
because they're having such a great time with it. So it does have a lot of, I think, sitting power even outside of the Twitch popularity. I think it very much helped it with the boom, but it's moved into just a more popular, especially in quarantine time. Like, you want something to do with your friends, you can't see each other, let's yell at each other.
Yeah.
It's still the second
also-
highest game on Twitch right now.
That's
The first
Wow.
is Genshin Impact.
Wow. Really have to get to impact. So the thing about Among Us is I see it like kind of being one of those games that breaks through into popular culture. I see a lot of memes at the
Yeah.
moment. It's like becoming a bit memeified. It could be like
It's
an
Halloween
Angry Birds style, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's gone from this niche. Well, Angry Birds was never really niche, but you know what I'm saying? Like from a game to a phenomena. I can see that potentially happening. Just because it's cute, kids like it, adults like it. It's on mobile platforms. It could happen, but it could equally fuck up its entire thing and die. It could easily happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's at that like precipice.
Yeah, it's
It really
To an
is.
extent happened with Fortnite, like when they released, what was it, season 2 or something like that, and they changed the map. They lost a huge player base, but they brought it back. Like they're still pretty concurrent, but it's the same thing. You add one thing that people don't like, and people are going to talk about it. I think that's the hard thing for games.
It's also another instance of passion gaming, though. Like, this is a small team. If they do something that people hate, that they're gonna respond because it's their baby. They're not a corporation that's gonna go, well, we've made the change, you deal with it. Like,
Yeah,
They
and
will
have the
adjust.
flexibility to do it as well.
yeah,
There's no boardroom making those decisions. It's just the four mates sitting
Yeah.
around their computers, just making the changes on the fly. That feels cool.
Yeah.
I think I really like
Yeah.
that.
I saw
They're gonna No Man's Sky it.
they're gonna No Man's Sky for sure. I saw the concept art for the character in Among Us, and they had like five tries, and they're like, we've got it.
That's so good.
That's so good.
Got it, man.
Like it's like that's what you landed on. Okay, cool. They're not the most complicated.
It's so weird
Design.
that and Fall Guys are so popular, and their characters are so similar. Really.
Pretty similar. Yeah.
I think that's the sad
the
thing
jelly
about Fall
beans.
Guys. It
Good
had
love
so
it, man.
much potential, but it never, like, it took off a little bit, but it just ended up getting boring. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I think
I think-
Fall Guys. I've never played Fall Guys.
It's really
I've never
fun.
played it.
I think because it's so popular and because it got so incredibly popular at launch, like it seems like it's not doing well now. But I think even now, like the developers said they like could never even comprehend how many players they got. Like it was like 10 times more than their kind of dream amount of players kind of thing, not their expectation. And like it's not like, I know they're doing season 2 and like they're adding content, and it's going to be a kind of game that's going to be around for a while, but it's like, it seems like it's doing worse because it did so well.
Yeah.
It peaked hard.
Yeah, that's a good way.
They are a small team, and they have, what is it, right now on Steam, 25,000 players, which is nothing to scoff at for a small team.
Better than the Avengers.
On Steam only. Definitely better than the Avengers, so...
Yeah, well...
The Avengers team is 1,000, and they only have 1,000 players.
Yeah,
One
it's just
dev
like, it's
per
all them,
person.
it's them at home, like, we gotta get these numbers up, man!
Everyone's logged in.
Okay. So we're at an hour, so I'm going to skip the bit about PS5. We're going to play a little bit of a game. So, unless you have anything else quickly, Kat, that you wanted to...
Yes, the list, it's real quick. PS5 released a list
I think there's
of
like
games.
8 games and 9 games.
There's 10 games on the list. So
10
they
games.
released a list of games that are PS4 only games, whereas the rest are backwards compatible on the PlayStation 5, whether or not there is a graphical or fidelical. Is that the right word?
Probably not.
Fedalicious.
If whether there is a
update.
graphical or fidelicious upgrade or not, there's only 10 games that they have listed as PS4 only games, and I have heard of one of them, which is Hitman Go.
What the fuck is Hitman Go?
Actually, there's Afro Samurai 2. Those are the only 2 I've heard of. So,
Give us the whole list. Bang them out.
alright. DWVR, which it surely must be DW from Arthur, but VR, right? I can't see.
Oh, that would be
I
so
can't see
good.
any of
And all you see is just the hand,
It's just like
Arthur's hand.
so you getting beat down over and over again.
No DW.
So you got DWVR, Afro Samurai 2, Revenge of the Kuba, Volume 1, TT Isle of Man, Right on the Edge 2, Just Deal With It,
Oof.
Just deal with it. Not the
Complex
same
Remastered,
game. GT Isle of Man, right on the edge too. Just deal with it.
Deal With It
Wait,
is
how many
separate,
colons?
but-
How many colons does that have in it?
Subtitles is this game?
I don't know if you guys know much about Isle of Man TT. I know Jimmy probably does, but damn, that place is scary. Ooh.
Deal with it.
Just deal with it.
Deal with it.
You're gonna die, just deal with it.
Just do it. Shadow Complex Remastered, Robinson the Journey, We Sing, Hitman Go Definitive Edition, Shadwen, and Joe's Diner. Like, what a shame that we can't get those on PS5, boys. Like,
Damn it! I think I'm gonna cancel my pre-order now because I can't play
fucking
Joe's
Joe's
Diner.
Diner.
Can't play Shadwin.
DWVR.
Shadwin and Joe's Diner, just deal with it 3VR, yeah. Such a shame.
Such a shame.
DW.
man.
But yeah, obviously, could
one.
change, could gain, who knows, but that's their list right now.
Yeah, no,
Amazing.
that's good. Yeah,
That's great.
What's
Great list.
funny that they were like, don't buy any expansions for PS4 games until you've played it to make sure it works okay. It's like, okay, that's a weird thing to say, but whatever.
Just a pep talk.
But that's
Trying
fine.
to get paid.
4,000 games. They were like 99%. And I was like, 1% of 4,000 isn't 10, Sony. You could have been like 99.9%.
Yeah, kills 99%.
Pump those numbers,
kills
man.
99% of games.
Okay, cool. So
Play this game, man.
this game, I full disclosure stole from another podcast, but I did come up with the descriptions myself. So what I'm going to do is read out a description of 2 games. So the first part of the description is going to explain the first game in the title, and the second part is going to explain the second game. So, for instance, because that is really hard to explain.
Yep.
It's 2 game names put together. So, this is my example one. The Grey Wardens fight to rid Ferelden of the Darkspawn Blight in massive real-time strategy battles across history. Do those 2
Yes.
games sound familiar? So that is Dragon Age of Empires. Do you feel me?
Right.
Do you feel
Okay.
me? Okay.
Yeah.
Last game I annihilated. I am
You
gonna
did,
be
okay.
the worst at this
Okay.
game. I'm not getting shit.
It's
So
actually
did you do well
quite-
last time?
I did the best, thank you. Jono wanted to count points, and he was the worst. So,
Okay.
And
So you've got to... Okay.
I'm not going to
We
go
got-
round.
but I'm not gonna
I
get
just
this.
want you to call out the first thing, like call out if you think you've got it. Also, just come up with funny names because
Oh, I'm so
I
gonna
think.
lose this. This is gonna be great.
No. We're competing to lose now, okay? Jimmy, you get to win.
So you understand the context of the game, even with my very bad explanation.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Okay.
Okay. No, he says. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. In a journey to scatter his wife's ashes from the highest mountain, this story of father and son pits orcs and humans of Azeroth in strategic combat.
God of Warcraft.
Yes.
God of Warcraft.
Damn it.
Next game, please.
How did you not
Yes.
get that, Andrew? Even I got that.
I made it easy by putting the word Azeroth in there.
Oh man.
I liked
Too
it. That was
easy,
good.
too easy.
Okay, again,
That was
your
great,
example
actually.
worried me.
Okay,
Example
sorry.
one worried me.
I knew
That was
it's
scary
so
shit.
hard to
It's
think
fine.
of
That
how
was
to
easy.
explain it. So,
So long as they're easy, then it's okay.
some of them are easier than others. And fuck, this is really hard to come up with.
Where would you
good
rate
names.
that on the scale of easiness? That one, because
That was
two of them
really
got it.
easy.
Fuck, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get any more.
Okay. An international racing festival takes drivers across the globe from Colorado and the Italian coast to Australia and Great Britain in a post-apocalyptic world where robot dinosaurs have reclaimed the land.
Fallout Horizon Festival.
Wait, where did
Falls Out Horizon? I don't know. Like Forza Horizon. Fallout.
Forza Zero Dawn? Like,
I mean, you pretty much got it.
Horizon. Oh, Horizon. Zero Dawn.
Forza.
Horizon?
Zero Dawn.
Thank
For-
you.
for-
You literally
Oh,
said
yeah.
it. You were like, Forza Zero Dawn, cat? Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you missed the main word that completes
Horizon?
the...
Well,
Forza
so
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Am I using both?
Both names are
Full
included. in it.
names.
Yeah.
Full
Like
names.
God of
Okay.
Warcraft. It was
of
Warcraft,
Warcraft.
not World of Warcraft, by the way. If you-
Okay, so yeah. Oh, well, that the answer is no then to my question. I'm not using both full names if it's God of Warcraft. I'm using part of both of them.
No, you are using the full names.
God of War.
The game is Warcraft,
Warcraft.
not World of Warcraft. God of
Guess.
War, Warcraft. Dragon
I
Age
guess.
of Empires. Dragon Age, Age of Empires.
Okay,
Forza Horizon Zero Dawn. Forza
Yeah.
Horizon and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
We
I
got
Okay.
thought of Jurassic
Kat.
Park, so that was great.
Kat, you can have
like
a clear shot at this next one.
All right. This is one's a bit different. A
Am
creative.
I gonna get it? I don't want a clear shot if I'm not gonna get it.
Maybe there's a little hints in
All right,
there.
let's go.
A creative platforming game about a little boy made from a sack. Players can create their own theme parks and attract tourists to their death-defying rides.
Is it Little Big Planet Tycoon or Zoo Tycoon or something?
Little Big Planet Zoo Tycoon or something. Is that
I
it?
forget that or something. I don't know what the Tycoon
Little
side
Big-
of it is.
Little Big Planet roller, isn't it Roller Coaster Tycoon or something?
You're very close.
Little Big Planet Party Tycoon. I don't know.
Little Big Planet Park of theme
Is it
parks.
is it the new one? Is it Sackboy Adventures
I'm
Tycoon?
guessing you guys don't know the name of this game. It's Little Big Planet Coaster. Never heard
Planet
of Planet
Coaster!
Planet Coaster.
Coaster.
There we go.
Oh,
And the
yes.
penny drops. Jim's
Oh,
face.
far out.
Nobody gets a point.
Oh well.
Okay.
All right.
Next.
In a mysterious castle, Alucard fights to stop the resurrection of a powerful vampire, and a cast of anthropomorphic animals must confront a horrible secret that's been hidden for decades.
It's the full game.
This is both full names combined, with the final word being the start of the next game.
And I've just forgot Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Of the Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh my god! I don't
was
think you
good.
comprehend how
Castlevania
this
Symphony
game
of the
works,
Five
Cat.
Nights at Freddy's.
I just put a 5 in there, man. Like,
That's it though, right? Like Castlevania Symphony of the Five Nights at Freddy's.
I mean,
if anyone can
that's
come up with a
funnier,
better
but-
answer, like,
I don't know the plot of Five Nights at Freddy's, but I don't think it's about confronting a horrible secret that's been hidden for decades.
Well, you're wrong, but that's fine.
I don't. Castlevania Symphony.
What is it? What was it? Anthropomorphic.
Animals.
Oh, fuck. What is it? Night.
Yes. It
Night in
starts
the
with
Woods. Is it
yeah.
Night in the Woods?
Say the whole thing.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night in
The Night in the Woods. There you go. It's a combo effort.
We got it. That
I
was
like
good.
Symphony
I
of the
first answer.
Freddy.
Yeah.
Fair.
I thought you'd like that, Jim. I was like,
Stitched in
Castlevania.
my side, dude.
That was good. That's the name of this podcast.
What? Castlevania Symphony of the Night in the Woods?
Castlevania Symphony of the Five Nights at Freddy's, I think.
Okay, wait. I'm just going to write that down so I don't forget.
That's so good. Okay, we named the episode.
You're welcome. We did the tough work for you.
Cat, thank you. Okay, here's another one. In a technological near future, a secret agent is sent out to discover and stop an extraterrestrial conspiracy, and during a war between heaven and hell, the four horsemen of the apocalypse are sent to Earth too early, and you're to blame.
Can you start again? I'm still laughing. I'm sorry. No, for real, I didn't hear it.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
In a technological near future, a secret agent is sent out to discover and stop an extraterrestrial conspiracy. And during a war between heaven and hell, the four horsemen of the apocalypse are sent to Earth too early, and you're to blame.
Quentin?
Nah. Not a clue. Not a clue.
Jim, I know.
I can't
it's
get
in
either
your
one of
head
these.
somehow.
There's a B in there, but it's just.
There's a
not
B
coming
in
out.
there.
Maybe it is
There's a
stuck
B
up
in there.
Stuck up in there with Five Nights at Freddy's. Is it cyberpunk?
No.
Okay. Is it?
Wait, what's the first one about?
It's the longest sentence on the planet. You've just said
Yeah.
like this. You know that really long train station name in Wales?
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
basically what you're saying. It's just like in the near future where you're to blame and you're the seventh nightman of the.
So I'm a hitman in the future. Who am I killing?
Secret
Now,
agent.
see, for some reason I think of Half-Life, but Half-Life's not a secret agent.
Do you know what the second part is? Because that's really easy.
The four horsemen, and I'm to blame.
Is it Darksiders or?
That's what I was thinking, but but aren't you one of the horsemen?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
to blame.
It's always
I guess-
good I've got
I
Darksiders
guess
too.
I'm wrong.
The second part is Darksiders.
Dude, I loved Darksiders. So
Right.
something that ends in dark.
Siders. Oh, yeah, the first bit has to end in
Yeah.
dark.
Oh,
The secret
Perfect
agent
Darksiders.
is sent.
Perfect Darksiders.
Yes!
yes. Damn it! Damn it!
Hey!
I knew it was up there with that B.
You're rattling around up there. There's only two things in there: Perfect Dark and a B.
All right, this one's much shorter, Jim, so your small mind can
Okay.
comprehend the
Thank
sentence.
you, mate. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
jeez, he's got way more points than me, so I don't know if his.
I think
Thank you,
he's
Five
good.
Nights.
I mean, Cat wins because Five Nights at Freddy's. But...
It's just an instant win.
I'm so good at games of all
You are
kinds.
you're so good at naming that particular game card.
Yeah, so good.
All right. Jump,
Alright.
jump, swing, and fight your way through a backdrop of 9th century Middle Eastern temples while you shoot enemies in this classic arcade rail shooter.
Temple Run.
Is that?
I'm going to give you a hint. The first part,
Ouch.
there are reversing time mechanics.
Yeah, it's Prince of Persia.
Persia?
Sands of Time, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to work out what you mean by the second bit.
Wait,
no,
can you
it's
explain again?
Classic arcade rail shooter.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what's it called?
Oh, I know. It's Prince of Persia: Sands of Time Crisis.
Yes,
Yes.
Jim.
Nice! Jim, you are good at this
All
game.
I could think of was the color of the arcade machine.
Pink gun, blue gun.
Yes.
Pink gun, blue
Yes.
gun. Maybe.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, final one.
Final one. Why didn't you pray like 7 more?
Oh fuck, that's really hard to find games that end in.
You're doing really well, Elliot.
Oh, thanks, Jim. You're actually doing better than me. You're getting them all right.
I'm just really good at games. That's why I'm an expert. contestant on this podcast.
Super humble.
All right.
I'm the most humble person on this podcast.
Yeah.
Take the stage and play some of the best rock songs of all time as you live out your rockstar dreams in pitched 5v5 battles in this tactical multiplayer from the creators of WoW.
Rockstar Overwatch.
Wait, is it Guitar Heroes of the Storm?
Yes, Cat!
Oh,
Yes!
So good!
Yeah.
Redeemed!
That was the best
Absolutely
one as well.
redeemed.
Guitar Heroes of the Storm. It should be a game.
that
It
would
should
actually
be
be
a
like a
game.
sick band as well.
That would be a sick band. That's great.
That was fantastic. Well, thank you.
was
I'm
awesome.
glad I actually got
Everybody.
one.
Thank you.
Good work. Castlevania,
Yeah, thanks,
Symphony of the Five Nights at Freddy's. What a fucking... what a riot.
Thanks for making
What
that
a
so easy.
spin-off podcast that's going to be.
So good. Well, thank you all for joining me. I think we'll call it at that. It's an hour and 15 minutes. Quince,
Yes.
tell us about where people can find you on Twitch.
Oh, yes. Twitch.tv/Quince_. QINTS. You're probably going to see a lot of coming up is Dragon Ball Z. I'm going to play Kakarot.
Oh,
A
nice.
Nice!
bit of a week stream of that. It was
Cool.
supposed to be Shadowlands, but I'm going to take a bit of time to play something a bit different, something a bit single player. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Nice. And what do you have a stream schedule? What's the go? When can people
Nothing
find
set.
you on there?
I'm typically on, obviously, Australian time, Australian Eastern Standard Time, after 8 o'clock normally, if I'm on. But I'll be streaming throughout the week. Probably not next week, the week after, just for a week, and then back to normal schedule.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. Jim, are you
Yeah.
even on? Are you on Twitter or anything like that?
I am. Look, I'm everywhere, but there's one thing I do want to tell you about. So we're going to have a podcast starting as well soon.
Yes.
And hopefully you guys will get involved with it. It should be funny. It should be a lot of fun. It's going to be called Steam Turds, and it's launching this summer in Australia, winter time in the US. It'll be myself and my good friend Telly, who you've had on the podcast. Is Luke. You may remember him from the last quiz. He didn't do very well.
I've met him before.
He's a good boy. And I think the idea behind Steam Turds is we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into the underbelly of Steam, find some of those shitty games that people have written off. We're going to play
Bad rats.
real bad ones. We're going to find out if they're truly shit or maybe they're worth redeeming. So stay tuned. We'll have some fun with it. We'll maybe have some guests on there. You guys are very welcome to come along. And
this.
hopefully we'll do a bit of a crossover one day where we can merge Steam Turd. What would the game be? So it would be
Guess the turd.
I
Like,
can't just guess the turd. Is that what you want me to call it?
that's it, yeah. Just guess the
Come
turd.
on, just forget it. The whole podcast scrap. Forget it.
That sounds amazing, Jim. I'm so excited to see that. I think it was an idea you came up with a while ago, and I love that this is going to happen. So
It will happen, and you will see it soon.
hell yes. And Kat,
Same
do
as
your
always, man.
thing.
You can find me on Twitch at CapCat. You can find me on Twitter at CapCatty. And you can find me on Insta at capcat.works. Elliot, as always, will put the links.
Down below.
That's it. That's me. I'm so
Fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. And thank you everybody for listening or watching this episode of Controllers and Coffee. If you're listening to the audio version, jump onto youtube.com/Direckt Gaming and subscribe. Check out the video version there. And if you're watching, check out the audio version on all good podcast platforms. Thank you all. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Bellas.
Coffee